The "what the hell" effect is a phrase coined by Pavel Tsatsouline many years ago, describing something incredible that happens when you fully commit to kettlebell training. And honestly, I never really got it. I trained with kettlebells and I like them a lot. I use them all the time, but I never had a "what the hell" moment. Then I started picking up these bags filled with sand and finally felt it, but not for the reason I expected. This didn't exactly start with sandbags. It started when I kept noticing something that would bug me. I got into climbing a few years back, and I'd rarely see the strongest climbers training anywhere near max strength. And yet these guys were freaky strong, like able to rep out one-arm pull-ups. To me, their training really just looked like conditioning, not strength. But then I started thinking, what if they actually knew something I didn't? Maybe it wasn't just conditioning. Maybe this is what was making them stronger. Not always pushing to max, but instead accumulating crazy amounts of quality movement with little rest. That seed was planted. I just didn't know what to do with it yet. Then, after years of resisting it, I finally picked up sandbag training. After a few months, and as the bags got heavier, I started noticing something I didn't really expect. I was PRing on my weighted pull-ups over and over. My pressing strength went through the roof. I was jumping higher, climbing harder, and I barely needed rest. None of those things had anything to do with what I thought sandbags were for. I was expecting stronger legs and hoping for a stronger core. Instead, it seemed like everything was getting better all at once. At this point, I did have to step back and say, what the hell? Now I realize sandbags and kettlebells, they are unique tools. Not only do they constantly demand different types of strength, even within a single rep, but I think they share the same superpower. They naturally encourage you to perform a ton of high quality work repeatedly. And I think that's the piece I was missing. Finally, those elite climbers made sense. Back when I trained with barbells or dumbbells, I'd do 10 hard reps, rest, do 10 more. You know how it goes. But with sandbags, I'd find myself picking it up, shouldering it, carrying it, tossing it down, catching my breath for just a moment, and then doing it over and over. Rarely taken to max, but with short rest times. And every time before I knew it, 25 minutes had gone by, and I'd done more work than I used to do in 45 to an hour. Take this workout on screen as an example. I did 60 squats with a 225-pound bag in 10 minutes. I also had to deadlift it 10 times and hold it like a carry for at least 2 minutes of that. It wasn't like I intentionally did it this way from the beginning, but as I got more proficient, it just felt more natural. You're never completely fresh, but you're also never completely exhausted either. And I think this is why I didn't get the "what the hell" effect from kettlebells. I tried to force them into a conventional methodology, 3 sets of 10. I did the movements. I just didn't actually listen to Pavel because I thought I knew better. When I'd hear about this type of training, all I'd really see in my mind was CrossFit, circuit classes, or boot camps, things I thought were gimmicky. So I would turn a blind eye and I would stick to the traditional stuff. And I ended up missing out on something that has now given me some of the most profound progress in my life. I'm more muscular, stronger, leaner, and more conditioned than I've ever been, all in less time. Some of my gains I attribute directly to the tools, sandbags and kettlebells. They build huge amounts of whole body strength, explosive power, and structural integrity all at once. But also, honestly, I think a lot of it came from understanding this idea: more quality work in less time. And I've started applying it almost everywhere in my training. What you're seeing on screen right now is how I'm using it for heavy calisthenics. Don't get me wrong, I don't literally do workouts like this every single time. I still love working on max strength, but I think this filled a gap for me that's missing in a lot of people's training. Maybe you've heard it called density, strength endurance, or work capacity. To me, it doesn't really matter what we call it. I just know that once I finally understood it, it changed the way I train. And I keep waiting for it to stop working, and it hasn't yet. So I guess for now, I'm gonna keep making gains. All right, guys.